the pet population is exploding, and we want to talk about what that means in real estate with your pet.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Bergio, Mark Novak, episode 426. Are pets allowed? We still get asked a lot of the time on the weekend from purchasers, is this a pet-friendly block? Mark, good morning.
Yep.
Let's talk about it.
Good morning. Prospective tenants, purchasers, sellers, vendor, commercial properties.
Yes.
Commercial properties, crazy. Yeah. What's your take, Mr. Bergio? What do you understand that what is happening out there with pets? It's definitely exploding. There's definitely it's on the rise, hey?
It is. I was just looking at some data then. There's 4.8 million dogs in Australia, 3.9 million cats. So dogs are more popular, which is no surprise. But Australia has one of the highest pet ownership percentages out there, around 65%. America's, I think, number one with around 69%. So Australians, we love our cats and dogs, even fish. I think there's 8.7 million fish. So they're not going anywhere, Mark. I think probably maybe up until 8 years ago, I don't want to say tenants were frowned upon, but it was almost like the black sheep, just like, no, we don't want pets. Well, who would have a pet? But I think now everyone's just faces it, embraces it. Basically, everybody has a pet. It's like a second child, and all the data shows pet ownership is on the rise. So it's one of those. It reminds me of like FPOS in shops. You basically jump on the train, otherwise you're going to miss the train.
So why are people having more pets? Just out of interest, just like, I don't know why. Why?
I think people want companionship. People are lonelier. We do a lot. I think as a society, we do a lot less human interaction than we ever have. I haven't looked at any of it, but this is what I imagine. With so much time behind iPhones and communicating that way, I think there's less human interaction, and an animal is a very good substitute, and they don't talk back.
Is that true? It's true. Is it are we as a civilization doing more with pets and less with each other? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, interesting. All right, but the big thing, tying that back to real estate, occupation, getting your pet in there, it was hard, hey, with prospective, with landlords or with strata schemes. People used to be pretty tough.
Yeah, well, in some buildings, everyone would ask, is the building pet friendly? Because there were a lot of buildings that we were selling which said no to pets. And then there were some that said no pets bigger than your hand or weighed more than 5 kilos. So there was a lot of rules around it, which basically were ways people could say, we don't like animals in this building and we don't want you to have an animal. It was almost like they could have had a sign out the front of the building saying that. But there was a big change happened under 12 months ago, and even though it may feel common knowledge for us, Mark, but every weekend I'm getting asked by buyers, is it pet friendly? So I thought we should do a show again to talk about the changes legislation which stemmed from a Supreme Court ruling, which basically said that now there's two different classes here. People can't get, you don't want to get confused. Basically, there's a different rule if you're the owner of the lot and if you're the tenant of the lot. And in short, if you're the owner of the lot, they can't say no to you having a dog there. But if you're a tenant, the landlord can say no to you having a dog there. But there used to be these blanket rules on the as a bylaw in the strata that said no dogs allowed, and this would cost
Don't
owners
even
money.
ask.
Yeah, and this would cost owners money, where buyers would call us saying, "Can we have a pet there?" We're like, "Sorry, no," but you should be able to fight it, because I think everyone knew it was unjust, and especially with a lot of dogs through companionship, mental health, it would never really stand up. And it only took probably 5 or 6 years, but a ruling came through and it did not stand up.
And look, even as a landlord, I think you got to be pretty mean to say no to a cat, for instance. But I think as a landlord, you still have the flexibility of just not accepting the tenant or removing the tenant. So I think it's sometimes it's not clearly forcing it down the throat of landlords. They simply don't have to accept the tenant, or they simply can actually ask the tenant to leave on a no grounds basis. But I've got to admit, we manage a lot of we manage over 6. I haven't seen a badly damaged property from a pet. Like, I'm talking, you know, on a regular basis. Like, you know, look, you always got your extremes where, you know, maybe a cat's going to rip a curtain or do a fly screen. But you know, for the amount of properties we've got under management, the amount of pet damage that we get is actually quite minimal. So I think as a landlord, I think your risk is pretty low having a pet. That's damage to the property, but then there's noise, which is another consideration as well.
Yeah, there is. And I think that's why sometimes they would ask like the size of the pet so they can judge its bark or anything like that. But I think at the end of the day, people have become a lot more forgiving and lenient towards it. And I think that comes with what you just saw the numbers, 65% of households have an animal. So I think these days, all those barriers or the pushbacks, they've now been outnumbered. The majority of people have pets. So I think before you heard a lot of complaints and they'd say, oh, we don't want a dog above 10 kilos, or you can't do this, you can't do this, was when that population complaining thought they were the majority. But just looking at the data year on year, the growth of the industry, people are just, I think they're just biting their tongue. But what does this mean for the value of a property, Mark, with either tenant selection or someone buying it? Look, if you had a dog,
I reckon we're over that hump now, where, you know, it was putting a downward pressure sometimes on values, or an upward pressure on values for rent, or even for sale sometimes. But I think now that we're 2 in 3 households, and I think now there's this passing legislation, there's this acceptance, there's this reasonable attitude that people are having towards pets and towards noise of pets. I reckon that it's sort of the done thing. I used to hear people paying $30, $50 more for a pet. Not really these days.
Yeah. So why do you think buyers are still asking us? Do you think there's still strata companies, strata buildings still enforcing it? Or do you think it's
because they love their pet?
Yeah, they just want to be safe than sorry.
Is little Johnny going to be okay? Is I think it's an endearing question, and it's a security blanket that they just want to know. And I honestly think they'll probably be asking for a long time, because it's a big thing. And I look at we've got a dog, and I look at the role our dog plays in our life. It's pretty it's pretty big. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think knowing that everything's going to be okay, even if it's an obvious question, I think people still like asking it. They want to make sure it's all okay.
But it's also a lot of people, they may not move every 5 years. So last time they were looking at it's almost like when you're doing something, that's when all the memories come back. So they start looking for property, and then all the questions they used to ask just pop into their head. and they probably would have known back then. Everyone was saying no pets allowed, no pets allowed. So they come back in the market and they're like, oh, can we have pets? They're obviously not following it as closely.
Yeah, it's true. But I reckon that's pets for today.
That's it.
Any questions? If anyone's got any questions, throw them at us. But it's good news. Look, it's good news. It's great news. What's next after pets? What do you reckon people are going to be worried about in strata schemes? Smoke. There's smoke drift, which is people smoking on balcony. That's pretty much been stopped out.
Yeah, well, they've gone
noise. Yeah.
They've gone hard on smoking and then soft on animals. The roles have reversed.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, you
fire.
Yeah.
Fire compliance, they're big on in these schemes. It's it's interesting.
That's
It's actually good to see. It's good to see people loosen up a bit, even if it is with pets. There's just so much legislation and law out there, and you can't bloody fart without getting in trouble these days. So it's nice, it's nice to see this sort of stuff, being approved and making people's lives better in strata schemes. What's Lisa Novak saying?
Yeah, businesses run from units. This would be an interesting one as well. Running a business from your apartment or your house. I think, that's a good topic. That's a good topic.
Try to fight that one in COVID. Try to fight that one after COVID. Fat chance.
Yeah. Alrighty. That's a wrap. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Okay. Well,
that's interesting, that one.
Yeah, they got me thinking. Good one, Lisa.
Yeah.
Alrighty. See everyone tomorrow morning.
Bye, everyone.